I can just stay on air and read the book for the next 7 hours, though.
Oh no. Okay.
For those of you just joining us now, Taylor's not going to do that.
Yes, that's happening. Okay. Spiel. Let's see if I can say this.
I believe.
Probably not. Good afternoon, because it's afternoon in the evening. And welcome to another episode, and by another episode, the first episode of the second season of Bibliomancy for Beginners. Yay!
We got funded for a second season.
We weren't canceled.
They tried, but we rebelled.
Internet. I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves, starting with Gretchen.
Hi all, I am the aforementioned Gretchen. You may know me or not know me from my blog, My Life is a Notebook, where I talk about YA books, which this is not one, but that's fine. I am multi-talented. I am actually now a junior. Ew. Ew. And I'm going away to London in the fall. That's me.
Rachel?
I'm Rachel. I'm also a junior, which sucks. I just came back from London, so this is like the first time I've seen Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen.
Hi.
It's gonna be sad because a year. Oh God. Anyways, that's my sad tale. Moving on.
Taylor?
I'm Taylor. I guess I'm also a junior. I'm just gonna point that out. I guess that's good or bad. I'm not sure what the consensus is. I have normal black tea today. I think it's got some lemon in it. It's very exciting. Let's talk about books.
It's good.
Iced caramel macchiato.
I don't have anything to drink because I'm silly, but I've been sitting here setting things up. I'm Michaela. I'm kind of a junior, kind of a senior. The world may never know. I guess that's all that I got. I don't have anything else to say. I'm tired. Sorry if that's a thing. So, this week / week and a half, we read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey, which is one of my favorite books of all time, if not my favorite book of all time.
It was pretty good.
It's definitely top 3. For those of you who haven't read the book or haven't heard of it, I have the option of either reading the Goodreads or the back of my 1963 version of this. And personally, I have the 1963 version better. So here we go. It starts off with a quote from Time magazine. Brilliant! In this classic novel of the 1960s, Ken Kesey's hero is Randall Patrick McMurphy, a boisterous, brawling, fun-loving rebel who swaggers into the world of a mental hospital and takes over. A lusty, life-affirming fighter, McMurphy rallies the other patients around him by challenging the dictatorship of Big Nurse. He promotes gambling in the ward, smuggles in wine and women, and openly defies the rules at every turn. But this defiance, which starts as a sport, soon develops into a grim struggle, an all-out war between 2 relentless opponents. Big Nurse, backed by the full power of authority, McMurphy, who has only his own indomitable will. What happens when Big Nurse uses her ultimate weapon against McMurphy provides the story's shocking climax.
Oh, that's a pun.
Ha ha
That's a total pun.
ha!
I don't think we should spoil that just yet. We haven't had the spoiler warning, but that's a pun.
Yes.
That's a pun.
Guys, I thought that the season before I gave the spoiler warning, we could give a spoiler-free overall impression for those who wanted what we thought of the book before they went and read it. So, like, recommended, don't recommend, it was good, it wasn't good, I liked it, etc. Just something to let people know whether they should read it or not. We want to go down the line.
Oh, do I count as first on the line? Like, I'm
Yes.
on the end of mine.
Yes.
I think for me, I'm just book at the wrong time. I was really, really tired after the end of school, and I was reading towards the end a lot of like really technical, like life affirming type of stuff, and I was just reading this, and I was just like, make it stop. I needed a little bit more break of my school life before I jumped into this one, because like literally all I want to read are comics right now. And I was reading this, and I was just like, nope. I quit.
Too tired. Too good of a book.
Yeah, see my lower third? There's a reason.
Rachel, what did you think of it?
I mean, I loved it. You definitely have to be in the mood to read it. I'll agree with Gretchen on that one. You have to be in the mood to read it. You got to be ready for it. But I thought it was really good.
Taylor.
Oh, I thought it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun, and then not so much fun, and then just still very good.
And obviously it's one of my favorite books, so you know what I think about it. Go read it. If you read it, then do that, because now we're going to go into the section where we're going to discuss the book in detail, and there will be spoilers. If you don't want to be spoilers, you should stop watching. If you don't want to be spoilers, if you don't want to be spoiled, you should stop watching. Or if you don't mind that, you can continue watching what we thought about things in detail. There also might be swearing, because we're adults. Why be professional? Okay. We're going to start with our favorite parts. Gretchen.
I just like, that's so hard, because for me this book was so, I really just like zeroed in on characters. So like, I don't have a favorite part. I just have these characters. I was just like, yes, good, speak more. Speak is good. So like, I didn't really like. I mean, anything where they were taking Big Nurse down a notch was really, really good. But like, I don't know, just the sly moments when they were taking her down a notch, when she was just sitting there and you can just like feel the smoke in her brain just boiling over. And I was just like,
Kind of.
We lost Rachel.
Okay, Michaela,
I'm
you're
also
going
done.
I can go next. I feel like my favorite part, despite being like very near to the saddest part of the book for me, was McMurphy breaking that woman into the ward that one night, and just
the party that ensued.
Yes, so I was just like, what is happening? What are you doing? Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I didn't know you could do that, but wow. Oh, R.P. McMurphy.
We didn't even notice, Rachel. It's your turn. Go.
It was my mom. Anyways, favorite parts, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Gretchen. There are some characters I found really annoying and just wanted to like stab. Like, honestly, I was not that big a fan of McMurphy. He kind of annoyed me. But
It's a good part.
yeah, but I mean, I can't remember his name. I'm too tired to remember his name. But the book opens up with the Indian guy, Chief Broom.
Then,
Yeah,
Bromden.
yeah, I love him. I think he's awesome.
he is a good narrator.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite part might be the fishing trip, actually, because there are some moments of just fantastic prose. But my second favorite part was probably when McMurphy's talking about his boxer shorts with the little white whales on them, and he's saying how a some college girl gave them to him and said that he was a symbol. And I'm like, this is good.
Jokes! English major jokes! Okay. I think that's a good thing. Do we have least favorite parts? I guess Rachel was McMurphy, being McMurphy.
McMurphy around.
Get out, McMurphy. What are you doing?
Well, my favorite thing is that in the movie he was portrayed by Jack Nicholson, and I think that was fantastic casting.
Yeah.
I've yet to see the movie, but
It's really good.
Yeah, I haven't either.
It's a good film. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good representation of the book.
No, I wouldn't. It's not a good representation of the book, but it's a really good film.
fair enough. That's pretty much how film adaptations should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gretchen.
Least favorite part?
Oh, I mean, it just felt so bad. Like, for most of the book, like, these people, it just felt so bad. Like, the one guy was, like, nailed to the wall, like, Jesus Christ. I was just like, why? It felt so bad.
He got shocked one too many times.
So, I mean, but I mean, like, I don't know. You can't necessarily call the ending, like, your least favorite part, because that's not true. But I was just like, it hurt. Which was the point. You're like, you're not supposed to come away from this happy. Like, that's not the point. But, like, I hurt. But that's it, I guess.
Taylor? Me? Who should be next?
I go last, generally, so
That's true.
someone should probably go before me.
Men in the back.
Hear me?
What?
Yes. Hello.
What?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I had to change my microphone because it was using the microphone on my computer and not the microphone on my headset, which I think picks up more noise. I'm not sure. So maybe this is better. I don't know. Least favorite part for me. I have to say the ending because Billy. Billy
See,
knew.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
Billy knew.
Oh, guys, stop being stupid.
All right, Taylor.
What?
You're being overruled. Maybe you're the one being stupid.
I was talking about the characters. I'm agreeing with them both. Or rather, I'm agreeing with Gretchen and Michaela.
Yeah.
The characters were totally being stupid, and I wanted them to stop being stupid, but they're in an insane asylum.
So really, you can blame them.
No. So, that was that.
That was your least favorite part as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Sadness.
We all like Billy.
You can't not like Billy. He's just too cute.
Exactly. So we hold grudges.
Is that our favorite character? Or do we have other favorite characters we want to discuss?
Well, I want to take Rachel's point about McMurphy, and because I did not like him at first either. He came in and he was all swagger McSwaggerton, and I was like, no, no. But I don't know, he really grew on me as his kind of character. So, I mean, I don't necessarily call him my favorite character, but I certainly learned to mind him less and less as the book went on. He was crazy, but he was also smart.
McMurphy is one of my favorite characters just because he's one of the only characters in the book that stands up for himself, and I can respect that. When everybody else is just like, yeah, that's right, I do suck, don't I?
I don't know. I mean, he's not, okay. I don't like him. Like, I would not be able to get along with him. I would probably end up punching him at some point. We would not like each other at all. It would not be a good thing. But, like, he's a good-ish sort of guy, you know?
Good-ish sort of guy.
Well, I mean, he really helps the patients in the insane asylum. Like, that's awesome. And, like, but I still just don't really care for him as a person, I guess.
I don't think I could hang out with him. Like, I wouldn't want to be bros with him, but he's still somebody that I sort of respect.
Yeah.
For just being himself. Like, he for, like, maybe a week was able to toe the line, and then was like, this isn't worth it. Do we want to talk about Brahmin and what we like about Brahmin, our narrator?
Yeah, we can do that first.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I mean, I have an opinion on characters.
Then
Michaela, I know I'm the token male presence, but I do have opinions.
Yes, but no one cares.
Yes, but I'm the token presence, so I need to be heard for that, expression.
No.
Nope.
I liked the doctor.
He was like an excitable person.
Exactly.
One of those people that you could like get talking about anything, and he would just be like, okay.
Exactly. He leads off as like this, like really broken guy who just does whatever he's told, but half the time in this book he just gets caught up in being one of the bros.
Yeah, it's true.
Without realizing it. And he just starts going along with whatever the guys are doing. And it was so fun.
I just like the first time he really gets going about his like therapeutic community or whatever that was, and like Big Nurse has to shut him up, and I could just like see his face, and I was just like, oh man, oh buddy.
Okay. Now, do we want to talk about Bromden?
I will allow it.
As long as
So
Taylor
good.
allows it, we're fine.
Now the women can speak.
I feel like Bromden is my favorite literary device ever. I feel like more books should use Bromden. He should have no relevance to the plot and just be the narrator. Because he's my favorite narrator.
Honestly, that was my original problem, like, entering the book. I was like, I read the back, and they talked about this man named McMurphy. And now I'm getting a guy named Bromden, and I'm really confused.
That was one of my...
But, I mean,
That was one of my least favorite things about the description, was that I don't feel like this story is McMurphy's story. I feel like it is Bromden's story.
Especially
McMurphy's
given
just a
the
louder
ending.
character. Yeah, it's definitely Bromden's story. It's just that McMurphy is a louder character, and I feel like more people see that and like cling to it. Words.
Well, I think it's really easy to forget, too, with how much Bromden talks about McMurphy, that it is Bromden speaking. I think usually in a book you're used to the narrator talking about a character and not viewing the narrator as a character, per se. I mean, because, in, like, third person, whatever, that's not a thing. But this is first person, and I know for me, it was really easy to forget sometimes that Bromden was a character in the room, not just a narrator telling you the story.
Well, that's what I love.
So I think that's
because that's how he lived life.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, yeah, I agree.
There, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And he sat there and he narrated the whole time, and you're just if they had done it through McMurphy's eyes, you would not have gotten a sense of how the asylum ran at all.
It's true.
Because he would have been defying the rules at every turn. Whereas through Bromden's eyes, it was just like, holy shit, this place is evil. It is like a circle of hell.
I totally agree. I was just saying that's what makes that like a difficult line to cross, as using it. Like this could have really failed spectacularly, and it didn't.
Yes.
I agree.
And I loved how his mental condition allowed, to kind of blend between the fantastical and reality, and get a lot of really acute observations while still talking about people full of like springs and rust. Which from like Murphy would have been like, what are you talking about?
It's true.
Yeah. I felt so bad for him because he's so quiet, obviously, and they were terrible.
It allowed him to be the perfect narrator because it allowed him to float back and forth on both sides of the fence, if that makes sense, because the nursing staff trusted him and the patients trusted him. If he was just another patient, you wouldn't have gotten half of the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't even get introduced to his name. You get introduced to him as, here's the chief, the super chief, fellas. Old Chief Broom, here you go, Chief Broom. Like, that's how you get introduced to him, and I'm just like, no.
Super chief. We know what everybody was in the asylum for, because I was taking extensive notes. There's like 50 sticky notes in this thing. And the yellow sticky notes are whenever he was describing the other characters in the book and sort of hinting at why they were in the hospital, because he doesn't outright say why everybody was in the hospital, but there are definitely some fairly obvious hints. Some of them, at least.
I mean, a lot of them check themselves in. And we're not even talking like war vets. These are just guys off the street who are like, yeah, this is the place I should be.
But they did all have a psychological...
This is the place I should be. Sorry. Yes, continue.
They did all have a psychological thing that would have had them in that hospital otherwise, whether it was a family member that checked them in or themselves.
True.
I believe we had two epileptics, which were minor characters, but were there. They
were bros.
They were.
They checked out at the end. And I was like, yeah.
Hey, bros, you're so cool. Billy was in there for either his speech impediment or depression, because it was hinted at multiple times that he had scars on his wrists and burn marks on his hand, which indicated self-mutilation, plus how his plot ended. Harding was in there because he was gay, which in 1960s that's what happened.
Yes.
Here, go to the mental hospital and have it shocked out of you. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna admit that took me so long to get a handle on. I was so confused while he was there.
Because he seemed...
For a second, I thought he was a sex addict.
He has literally that one monologue where he
thought that all he wanted was bang people.
He has that one monologue right after the first session with McMurphy, where McMurphy goes over to him and is like, "Why did you allow this to happen to you?" And where he goes off on a mildly crazy, laughing hysterically rant where he's like, "I just got accused of so many things, of thinking my wife was cheating on me, of having illicit thoughts about my friends, of having sexual relationships with male friends." And it was like, oh, you're here because you're gay.
Yeah.
I get it.
It went completely over my head till he basically just said it out right at the end.
Yep. Yep.
For him. Then my favorite was trying to figure out why Bromden was in the hospital, and I realized it was PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he has the weird,
lapses in reality.
Weird lapses in reality, but they're not lapses into a fantasy world, they're lapses into his memory. All of the
Although-
red sticky notes are sticky notes of him talking about his past, and there are times when he's not lapsing, where he's just talking about something in the past that completely harkens back to one of his lapses earlier in the book.
But he does have moments where what he is witnessing is clearly, like, a fantasy, but it is a direct vision of what is happening. Like when he sees, in his dream, when he doesn't take his at night, and he sees, like, that chronic die in the night, and then they're carting him out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have that situation, where he is seeing what's going on, but he's interpreting it as this whole different thing.
But the thing that he's interpreting it as is something that happened to him previously.
Dipping down into the machine of the insane asylum?
Not the machine of the insane asylum. At the end of that section, he says something along the lines of, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but if that there can't be something like this in the basement, but if that's the case, how could I see it?" And while primarily you're supposed to think of that as, okay, so he's just being crazy and that's what he saw, but later he talks about what he did during World War II, and I think he was in one of the groups that raided a Nazi camp that had, like, a doctor's place that was doing experiments based on just some of his weird talks about his experience in the war. So I think it was like a trigger thing that overlapped these two things in his brain, was that one of the chronics was dying, and he was like, well, what do they do with dead bodies? This is what they do. This is what I saw. And he was so traumatized by it that now anytime that happens, that's sort of what he thinks of.
All right.
I mean, it's speculation based on all of my sticky notes.
But it's a very interesting one.
This is way more in-depth than I ever got.
Do we want to talk about our setting of this insane asylum? Do we like what was interesting? Gretchen?
I mean, I thought it was a good setting. I still wanted to burn it to the ground. I felt so bad. But I mean, obviously this story really couldn't have taken place anywhere else.
Yeah.
And again, like, the characterization, the way that Bromden talks about the entire institution is one of my favorite parts. Like the Combine and everything. That's so great. The way that he talks about the way that it's run. And
it's very Orwell 1984.
Yeah, I mean, that could very well be my favorite part, but, like, I don't know, I definitely, if this wasn't the setting, there wouldn't be a book.
Mm.
Well, I really liked it as a setting just because it's not something that you get heard talked about a lot. American society, and I think just society in general, usually tries to skip over the fact that insane asylums are a thing.
I would
especially for like, especially since it's supposed to be taking place in, like, the 50s, and that's a lot different than how it is today.
Yeah.
So,
but I would argue that in only the sense that we do hear a lot about insane asylums, but only in very inaccurate, like, American horror story.
yeah, other than, like, horror movies.
Whereas this is trying to create an accurate and, interesting depiction of it, which is something we definitely don't get.
Yeah.
That was one of the, if I remember correctly, that was one of the reasons that this book was read, was that Kesey wanted to criticize the mental health institutions for their brutality towards the mentally ill. So he created characters that sane people could relate to and wonder why they were in a mental hospital that still had issues that would have them in mental hospital, so that you felt worse when they were getting electrocuted or had a lobotomy. It was meant for you to go, why are we doing this to people, to humanize the population? Because at the time when this book came out, mental illness was something that you didn't talk about. You just pushed them into the mental hospital and, like, shut your mental door on that. Like, they're getting help, it's fine. This was him opening the doors and saying, "Is it really helping them? Is it?"
I'm curious. He was quite young when he wrote this, right?
I believe so. I can look it up.
I'm just wondering what experience he had with it, like whether he's like, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna start researching it, or if he had some experience.
Or if he was like a Billy Bibbit that didn't die, just like
Not necessarily
life
that
story.
not necessarily that he was a resident, but just that he had some.
Like his mom was in one or like something. I don't know.
Yeah,
he had some kind of experience with it.
That prompted all of this. So.
Sorry, I'm waiting for a page. Biography.com.
Do we want to talk about something else?
Okay.
Then?
He was born. He was born September.
Uh-oh.
We lost her.
Don't tell me we lose.
Okay.
Oh, there.
He later served as an experimental subject and aide in a hospital. As experience that led to his novel.
Ooh.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
Yeah. No. Ooh. I don't like that. Experimental? Ouch. Ooh.
Well, he was. I think I read this also in mine. Like, he was really big into like. But like, he really thought that people should like use LSD.
Oh yeah,
like habitually. He was very big into LSD.
Yeah, it was the 60s. That was still a very novel thing.
Mm.
We're not calling him a scientific expert. We're just saying.
Later in that biography article, it says that he transformed from novelist to hippie guru. So.
Well, at least he wrote something good before then.
Hippie guru.
I like that.
Right.
I like that a lot, actually. I'm just gonna.
Gretchen, we see the LSD tie-in right there.
Right?
Do we want to talk about the writing style? Because it's definitely unique.
Wait, what?
What was that?
Do we? Do we want to talk about the writing style? Because
okay.
Oh.
You just broke up there for a while.
I didn't hear writing style. You cut out.
Sorry.
I think for me, like obviously as the one voice of dissent, again, just because of like when I read it, like I said, all I want to read right now is like comics. So this was just like very, very deep for me right now. But I mean, I think you have to be definitely ready in this for monologues, because that happens a lot, and people talking, and or like Brahman's memories, and like different kinds of monologues in that, and you have to really commit to those. And you don't usually see those being used a lot because they're very difficult to do. I think he did them very well. Be ready for them. You have to be ready to think about someone's monologue. But I mean, like I said, like true. I would definitely
there's
return
a lot
to this
of
book.
meaning to do it.
Yeah, I would definitely return to this book with my brain screwed back on straight.
Yeah, kind of going off of what Gretchen said. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a lot all at once, or like no information in a long period of time, and it's like the sentences just like keep going and going, and I'm just like, my brain hurts. Please throw in some short sentences for me. I can't. I'm not smart enough for this right now. But like, it's really good. You just really have to sit down and think about it.
Yeah. It's definitely a thinking novel. For me, the only thing that kind of tweaks me is his overuse of simile. Everything is something else. Like something else.
Yes, it is.
There's more than just simile. Come on. Come on. That was literally my only problem with the run style, because there were times when it was extremely beautiful and times where it was extremely creepy, and overall for me it was all just really good to read. Plus a good story. Kelly?
I don't think I really have anything to add. I felt like the ending, like the last 10 pages, were taking a very long time to happen. And I'm not sure if that was just the situation I was reading it in. Or it's like, come on, I want to finish this. But, I don't know. Apart from that, no real issues or comments we haven't addressed.
I think the only other thing I wanted to question was that the second half of the novel has a lot of character deaths that seem to be sort of instigated by Miss Ratchet's treatment of the patients. Do we feel like that's Bromden's skewed perspective of it, or if she actually was just that bad of a person? Because she's somebody we haven't talked about at all. What were our opinions on Nurse Ratchet?
I don't think she was like Satan incarnate. Deliberately.
Deliberately.
I think she was that bad. I do not think it was all just because, like Bromden said, she was this horribly vindictive, bitter, evil thing.
Evil thing.
Misguided. And horribly harmful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt towards the end that the portrayal of her got a little bit too out of hand. So I did think that was a little bit more of Bromden thinking that, because I don't think she was like, since she did seem in the beginning, he was talking about how she prided herself for every, what were they called? You know, people who go back into the world fixed. And I really just felt towards the end, like, I was just like, is this just like is this a change? Like, what, you know, I don't, you know what I mean? I can't think of the words right now. But it just seemed like too big of a switch from the beginning, when he was putting emphasis on her caring about how many people she's releasing back into the world, and then all of a sudden towards the end she's like, oh, she's responsible for all these people dying. And I was like, those two, that doesn't work.
See, but then my question is she, I don't think she was doing it, like, she likes having control, and McMurphy took the control away from her, and I think that she lost the handle on that, but I don't think she was actually being a bad person and wanting these people to die, because I know that she was like upset at Billy, but nothing she said was particularly mean. Like, it was just harsh.
Yeah, because she actually showed her possibly first moment of actual compassion. Whether feigned or not, we never really see that break in her composure in such a way where she's actually, like, consoling the kid.
Yeah. It's true. And I feel like she is a good person trying to do what she believes is correct, which for her is to rehabilitate these men. That was like her life calling. That's what she does. And then this one guy comes onto her ward and messes everything up. And she's losing control, and then characters talking back, and she doesn't know how to fix it. And that is what she was then focused on, was no longer helping them, but getting control back, because she figured that control was what led to helping them, rather than seeing the world for what it was. And then
that makes sense.
It's obvious that she's controlling everything with rivets. Rivets everywhere. Is there anything else that anybody else wanted to talk about?
I will say that throughout the entire reading, I could not help but imagine her looking exactly like Hugo Weaving as his nurse character from Cloud Atlas. If you have not seen it, just look up a picture because it's exactly on point.
Flawless.
I'm glad I haven't seen this.
How many of us have watched the movie? I know Taylor said that he hadn't. Rachel, you've seen the movie, right?
I've seen it.
I have not.
Okay.
50-50.
The movie changes the main character to McMurphy, like, completely.
Yeah.
But they keep the ending the same, in that it's like Bromden crashing through a window and leaving.
That seems odd.
Yeah.
That is the only part of the movie that I feel they would have been alright for them to, like, cut out of the book. Like, if that makes sense. If you're changing the main character from Bromden to McMurphy, then the story should end with McMurphy's death. But then how do you explain why Chief smothers him? Because that happened as well in the movie.
Well, I just like it wouldn't have been possible for them to film the movie with Bromden as the narrator unless they almost completely took him off the screen and actually had him narrating the movie and just like talking over it, which would not have gone well. That don't go well almost ever.
Yeah, I did not want to have Bromden as the narrator of the film because there's no way to accurately portray his point of view.
Yeah.
It just seems like if you're going to do that, you have to change the ending. The ending doesn't make sense without him as a narrator. In the movie, it's just like, why is he smothering him? Why is he breaking out? What is happening? Why? You were just a silent character in the background of this film the entire time.
But was he like in the background of every single scene?
Pretty much, yeah.
Leaning inward?
With the broom.
I don't know. I felt like it still made sense. I don't really know how to explain. I mean, I saw the movie a really long time ago, but I thought it still made sense.
I guess I would say that those who haven't watched the movie should watch it and say what their opinion is, because for me it didn't quite jive with the rest of the film. It was a little bit off. And having read the book before I watched the film, I knew why, but then I could also see, like, I also knew the rest of the story, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anything else? Well set.
I'm good.
I can't think of anything else.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm set.
Okay. Recommended. Good book.
Yeah.
Requires thinking.
Requires brain.
Requires
Yes.
the summer off brain.
What's Wait, are we doing Tuesday?
Yes, unless people want.
Well, is the next book Good Omens?
Yes.
Okay, I have already read that, but it's a really big book, and I would really like to read it all again, and I don't know, I'm working 2 jobs. I don't know if I have enough time to read it all by
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Alright, we can talk about this when we're not on there.
Yeah.
The
last... But we will be back.
Thing,
That's
we will be.
You know, I've read it before. We can do Tuesday. It's not a big deal. I'll just finish it at some other point.
Well, next week we'll be reading Good Omens. This is my copy.
It's hilarious and sassy.
It's a Neil Gaiman book, and it's co-written with Terry Pratchett.
About the end of the world.
About the end of the world.
It's beautiful. I heard they're going to try and do some kind of movie or TV series, which I'm excited and dreading.
I've heard the same. Yeah, I don't remember who optioned it, but it was some big network, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember, but.
Bound to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
The thing about the next 3 reads and this book that we just read this week was that we're doing our favorite picks. I forgot to discuss this at the beginning. We're discussing some of our favorite books that we've ever read. So each of us have picked that we've already read and loved. So like I did Cuckoo's Nest, Rachel's is Good Omens, and then Taylor's doing part of Rumo because it's a really long book.
Like, I can bring it over, but it's enough to, you know.
It's big.
It's sizable. So we're going to read the first half because it's broken into 2 neat bits.
And I believe Gretchen's pick was Codename Verity.
Yes!
She is excited and she picked it. So there you go. I guess the only thing left to do is to shout out your social media, which will be in the description box below. If it isn't there already, I'm pretty sure it should already be there.
Okay, so as mentioned, my blog is My Life as a Notebook. That is adkwriter15.wordpress.com. Just remember adkwriter15 for everything. The blog, my Twitter, my Tumblr. The Facebook page is actually My Life as a Notebook. If you send an email to adkwriter15, I won't get it. That's not my email. But yeah, that's not me. And keep a watch. I really do want to do a giveaway, so watch my blog for that. I'll be setting that up.
Sounds good.
Okay. I have a Tumblr. When the Tigers broke free, I believe is what it is. Yes, Pink Floyd. Woo.
Go. Me?
Yeah.
E.T. Greenwood on Twitter. That's all I have.
You remembered!
I know. You actually remembered.
I have 7% battery, Gretchen. I don't have time to not remember things.
I have a blog as well, the Pie to Pie Calls at WordPress.com. I have 2 Tumblrs, one that is now almost entirely dedicated to K-pop, which is ravensinthenight.sky.tumblr.com, and one that is more related to book stuff, which is staring at blank pages.tumblr.com. I am at Pied Piper Calls on Twitter, and I think that's it. I think that's all of my stuff. I'm going to say that when I post the link to this video,
we will never know.
We will never know.
If she cuts out, the video ends there. She's gone.
Wait, but is she the one who has to turn off the video?
If
no,
she's
it's
gone
not going if she drops. Yeah.
What timing we will never understand. Oh. She can release like a 30-second promo video of what she's going to be saying. Ah, that's great.
That's good face. I like it.
Way too.
Is she gone or are we still live?
It says we're live. I don't think we're still live.
Well, because last time it told us that and it was a lie.
Exactly.
I don't know.
There. Video's over. Everyone go home.
You're in your room. You are home.
That was if we're still live. You know, everyone just leave.
Oh, yeah, well.
If we're still alive.
God, all the moments.
It usually doesn't take this long to tell us.
Oh, there it goes.
Wait, but we're still alive, guys.
We're not.
It still says we're
The
live.
live is live.
Because if she's gone, because she has the thingy, she's the master.
She who controls the spice controls the universe.
Yeah.
That's Michaela right now.
Right, okay. So, this is cool.
Oh, my back. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll see you guys on Tuesday then.
We might have to do later than that anyways, because I was just gonna say, I still don't have my copy. Because I ordered it a while ago. I still don't have it.
That's fun. I mean, I was halfway through it last summer, so I'm going to have to be rereading it anyway.
I'm alright
Okay.
with that. So I would really like to read the whole thing again. And my
Yeah.
sister has the copy, so I have to go to the library and pick it up. And I'm working all day Saturday and all day Sunday. And I don't know when I'm working Monday and Tuesday yet, so like...
Alright, well, I'm going to sign off because I'm now at 5%. So, later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, oh. I am going to go as well.
Gretchen!
Because I'm still worried we're live. I'm sorry, I'm still worried we're live.
Who cares? Hi. All the random people
Hi.
who watch this. Okay, bye. I love you.
Bye. Love you too.